What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me in part 2 of reassembling the S13, the 1JZ240SX. So, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little carried away these past couple of days. I just started going at it, getting a lot of stuff mocked up and bolted on and just installed, and I forgot to film all of it. So let me show you guys what I've done so far, and then we can carry on from there and continue filming this build. So in part 1, you guys saw that the motor went in. You guys saw that obviously the tranny came in with the motor, and the handbrake was installed, or the handbrake plate slash, yeah, you know what I mean. So since then, oh, we also had the radiator installed. Since then, you can see there's a little bit more. We got the brand new Exedi clutch master cylinder installed, bolted up. We also got our power steering reservoir all mounted up, nice and snug right there with our feed line to the pump already in there. We got to figure out a return. But yeah, we got the power steering reservoir in there. We also got our oil catch can mounted up to the valve covers and that tube thing installed, as well as in here you can see we got the ARC, pretty much the computer of the ARC, I don't know what to call it, but that is all installed. We also made a bracket. We utilized some of the factory brackets and made one of our own to hold the ECU in. As you can see, it's nice and tight up there. Got some of the relays that are on the harness installed, and the harness is pretty much just going to get zip tied up here, and it's going to be nice and clean and nothing much. We also went ahead and made this little plate that's going to hold our relays and a couple other things we want to add. So these are 2 relays for our fans, because they're high output fans and they need really big relays because these aren't enough. And we're also going to end up putting our blinker flasher relay in there. That way we can have blinkers and a few other things that we'll come up with along the way. I'm sure I'm going to come up with the use for all that empty space. So aside from installing all of those, I went ahead and also did this yesterday, which, if you guys don't know, this is going to be the harness for my gauges. So this plugs into a little plug right here in the back that comes out of the blah blah, and it's to the sensors for the water temp gauge and our oil pressure gauge. So it's unloomed. Yeah, it's not fully done yet. We still need to put some loom on it and make it nice and pretty, but we don't have any of that yet, so we're not going to do that right now. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to extend the wires on our motor harness that's going to connect to, or I think it's the chassis harness, I don't know what to call it, but we're going to extend the wires to go from that right there over to the ARC switch panel, which is going to give us ECU power and starter power. So let me show you guys that. So how I think I'm going to have it is that's going to sit around in that area. This is obviously, like I said, it's going to be zip tied up there, but that bundle of wire, I'm going to have it sit there. So then I'm going to extend the wires to go from here, go across the firewall here, and then up into the switch panel. So I think this is 1, this is 2. So let's go ahead and grab some of our wire here. Like my little wire dispenser, just pull and, yep. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get this to length, cut it up, and solder it together. All right, so we got our soldering iron here. We got our soldering lead, or whatever you want to call it. Just a simple solder job. Strip the wires back, put them together with some shrink wrap, call it a day. So let's go ahead and get to that. So we got the 2 wires shrink wrapped together, soldered, whatever the word is, and shrink wrapped together. So as you can see, good old connection, not coming apart. So we're just gonna send it in as it is right now, and later on, once we get our shrink wrap and stuff, we're gonna actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and put our eyelets in here, or you know what? Let's test fit it to the car first. So just plug in where it's gonna be, roughly in there. But more or less it's ran across here. So we're actually a little too long, which is not a bad thing. Let's push this in the corner more. So we actually got a whole pack of these shrink wrap connectors. I'm not going to use these like all of these stuff. I'm not going to use any of these crimping shrink wrap stuff just because, like you guys saw, I'm straight soldering them and then shrink wrapping them. But I am using little terminal ends here, which they're pretty neat. I've never used these before. They actually clean up very well, as you can see. You just crimp them on and then put some heat to it, then it shrink wraps and seals it, I think. But just this looks good. Looks way better than how I used to do it. But since we have a bunch of shrink wrap, I also went ahead and shrink wrapped it with the black, just because it looks, to me, it looks a little bit more uniform, looks a little bit more like professional grade. So let's go ahead and shrink wrap this side on, and this part of our harness will be done. So there we go. This is the only 2 wires we need to get that car, or to connect to that harness to get it started. Obviously we need to send power to the fuel pump to get that to obviously deliver fuel, but this harness is all I need to get this car started. So we're gonna wait till tomorrow, which for you guys will be in a couple seconds, to get our wire loom. We ended up just getting split loom, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run shrink tube through this whole thing, wrap the split loom around it, and then shrink wrapping the end of it just to make it clean but a little bit easier. A lot of people call it cheat wrap or whatever they call it, because it's not actually sliding the whole loom through it. But anyways, this is the harness for the engine harness thing, so let's go ahead and cut till tomorrow with us looming it. Alright, so we got this wire. We're gonna wrap same thing, but this one's gonna be for our fuel pump power. So now I'm working on looming up some of these harnesses. The harness that went for the gauges, as you can see, it's actually right here. I ended up making it a little bit longer than expected, but it's okay. It's ran through the firewall. It comes up here. It's gonna come right up here where the gauges are gonna be. I might end up just slimming it down just because it is a little long, but you can see it's wired. It's all loomed up. This as well. This is the harness for the fans. It plugs into there, comes out, splits into a ground here, and then the 2 powers go continuing here. It's gonna run into the firewall and then power to these relays right there. I'm doing a terrible job filming this. It's kind of hard to film this, to be honest, because it's just all repetitive, measuring out the wire, cutting it, soldering it, splicing it together, or whatever the fuck I'm doing. But yeah, I'm gonna try my best to film this part because, like I said, it is a little repetitive, but I'll just keep filming where I can. Again, I'm doing a terrible job filming, I apologize. But we got this rear harness all laid out and taped together neatly. We're still gonna have to loom it and route it through the car. But this is the harness that's gonna go from the front to pretty much everything in the back. I still have to add 1 wire into it, and that's for the fuel pump power. But this, what we see here right in front of us is the brake lights, the running lights, left blinker, and right blinker. So I still have to add 1 more wire to this. I mean 2 more, I guess. So that one, which is fuel pump power, and we're gonna do 1 more for reverse light power. So yeah, now that this is all put in, I'm probably gonna loom it right now and put it in the car maybe. I don't know. All right, guys. So it's another day. We went ahead and ordered some more wire loom. We got a huge pack of zip ties. I think this is 1,000 pack of zip ties. And we also got more 16 gauge wire because we ran out. So yesterday we celebrated Valentine's Day, so took a little break, and then it was perfect timing because all the parts came in today, which was the next day. So we're gonna go ahead and try to finish up this harness today, and see how far we can get along. So again, cut to the time lapse, more wiring stuff. Alright, so we got the whole rear harness pretty much from here back is this whole harness in one. We're going to combine it. Pretty much I did the main essentials. I did, well, a little more than the essentials actually. So essentials realistically are only running lights and brake lights. That way at nighttime when you turn on your headlights, you have lights in the rear and you know when you're stopping. This time, so that's what I did in the RX-7. This time around I wanted a little bit more. So we actually ran a wire for reverse light power, and we also did the fuel pump is in there, but we're talking about lights right now. So we did reverse lights, tail lights, brake lights, left turn signal, and right turn signal. I was gonna also run a power wire to do hazards, but I just figured the way I'm gonna wire everything up, we can just put both switches for left and right at the same time, and it's gonna be my hazards. So we're gonna have all that in the rear. And it's all here now. So this is fuel, taillights, everything that's in the taillights, and fuel pump. That's all we need back here in the rear. That's pretty much the essentials. So right now we have the harness, we have the loom. Let's go ahead and just use some YouTube magic and make this a really nice harness. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Ready? Boom. There you go. From end to end, it's all wrapped up. So you can see it comes here from the left tail light, transfers over to the right, goes out here. We got a couple grounds that poke out of it, and fuel pump ground there. This is the wiring for the fuel pump. Then it runs across here, and then all the way up until here is when I stopped it, because all this stuff is going to be under the dash already. Only reason why this stuff is super long is because I made it extra long just in case. I would hate to, I would hate to loom all this up, cut it to length, and next thing I know, my wires are too short. So decided to do it extra long. This is about where it's gonna be. All of them are gonna be cut to about that length. This is the fuel pump, and the rest of this for the rest of the stuff. So we're gonna stick it through a little hole that we have in there, and we're just gonna route it along the side of the body right there. Come up here and then come across and go to where they need to go. So let's go ahead and throw it in the car. Alright, so that rear harness that we made, you can see it's going to be into the taillight there, it goes through here, second taillight here, and then it grounds right here. So the fuel pump is going to ground right there, as well as the taillights are going to ground right there. And before you say anything, you can kind of see the little scratch mark. I did get it down to bare metal here, so it is a good ground. So we still have to figure out which one of these is the power wire for the fuel pump, because one of these is like for the sending unit, one is it for the gauge, and well, so we need to figure out which one is power. So we'll figure that out. That way we can wire this into there, and this will be complete. But you can see it's all loomed up. It's gonna follow nice and tight around here. We're gonna put some P-clamps around it. It goes into there. Then you can see it comes out It's gonna go around there, around the cage, down into the little footwell area, down here, through there, and it's all gonna be P-clamped nice and tight, and it comes up here. But the rest of the harness, then you can see obviously the ECU plug and the rest of the harness. So this is gauges, fans, and we're gonna have to add one more loom to that, which is gonna be headlights. But you can see it follows around here and then splits into here. So we got starter, ECU, fuel, fans. It says taillights, and we're also gonna add the headlights to there. And then that one is gauge power, which you can see comes up here. And this is the sensor. This is the gauge sensor plug. So this is water. This is oil. And yeah, so we got pretty much the back half wired. We're gonna go ahead and this is the harness for the fans. I'm probably gonna go ahead and loom up the harness on this and then figure something out with headlights. All right, guys, we've been working on the wiring on this car all week, every day after work. Hopefully today we can finish it up and get the whole, well, almost the whole harness done and just finish up this video already. So we went to O'Reilly's, got a few things, and let me show you guys what that is. What I decided to do was have a little kill switch, the one with the key. So one of these little things here as the power for it. So it's gonna be in the dash somewhere in the center console. So we're gonna have the power to go to here with the switch. And then the power from the battery is going to go from the switch right along with the rest of the wiring up into the positive terminal of the battery. So because of that, we needed more wire. So we got about 15 feet of 6 gauge wire, maybe more than enough. Hopefully it's not too short. That's ours. We got, like I said, the kill switch or the isolator switch, whatever you want to call it. But we also got 2 flasher relays because, like I said, we are gonna have turn signals and hazards in this car, so 1 flasher for each side. We also got switches for the hazards, some fuel line, and a bunch of other stuff. So let's go ahead and just get back to work. All right. So I didn't film any of it because, like I said, you guys have all seen me do it earlier in this video. It's the same thing. It's pretty repetitive. But we got our test. This is not the battery we're gonna use. It's just a test battery. But you can see we got the main wire here. It's 2 gauge wire to a kill switch, and then it goes off until here. So that's going to be the main power kill, I think. It's just so my battery doesn't drain. I don't know what to call it. And then we have the 6 gauge wire that goes from the battery, routes along here, blah, blah, goes into our switch right here, and then goes to the switch panel. And we have our turn signals, our reverse lights, and blinkers. Everything should be wired up, so theoretically speaking, all I have to do is stick this key in here and it will give this power, and we'll see if it works. So let's go ahead and try that. Let's get our switch here, and I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but if we did it right, once I stick this key in here and flip the power on, this panel should turn red. So fingers crossed. Yo, there you go. All right, it's lit. You guys can see that. So let's go ahead and I guess we'll test the fans. Let's flip the switch, see if it works. One fan is working. Why? Okay, we need to figure something out. Alright, so one issue we're having right now is only this fan's working, that fan is not, so we're gonna go ahead and have to diagnose that. But in the meantime, let's check all these other switches. So we got our left blinker here. Let's flip the switch. Alright, you can hear the relay clicking, the flash relay, and sure enough, it's working. Alright, let's go ahead and turn that off. Let's try our right blinker here. Okay, you can hear it flashing. Sure enough, alright. Okay, so far wiring has been okay, and this is our reverse lights. So hopefully, yep, we got them both on. And I was gonna do another wire for the hazards, but I figured I can just flip both switches at the same time. And okay, yeah, it works. There you go. I mean, I'm gonna have to flip the switches at the same time, but hazards. All right, so with a bit more diagnosis, still the one fan. what I found out was happening actually was this relay right here is bad. We got power to the signal, we got power to the main power, and we're not getting anything from the output power. So I went ahead just for the sake of it, switched these, and sure enough the other fan worked. So we have a bad relay. I went ahead and ordered one right now, so it's coming in tomorrow, so hopefully we can get that fixed. But other than that, everything that we've done today or with the wiring, our whole harness works. So we have blinkers, that blinker, we also have the reverse lights, and then we also have running lights, so it's turn on headlights. Obviously there's no headlights up yet, but if you come back here you can see they're on. And then also turn this off. Let's see if we can tell. Let's move this tail light up here, that way we can see it. If I did this right, when we step on the brake, oh, nothing's happening. Oh wait, no, I forgot. I forgot that I wired in the brake lights with the dash lights. So if the dash lights are on and we step on the brake pedal here, you should see this light. Oh, there it goes. The light's up. So our harness is officially complete. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. We got a lot done, pretty much the majority of the wiring done. We still have to clean it up and put it all together and tuck it up underneath the dash and stuff. But for the most part, we got the whole rear harness done. We got most of the front harness. We still have to run one more wire up front for the headlights, but that's super easy. And we're gonna do that later on once we have the headlights and everything mocked up. So that being said, this video was a success. We got all our stuff on there. Yeah, I know it's kind of, I did a very poor job filming, but like I said, a lot of this stuff is very repetitive. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys are excited for the process that we've been making. So that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one with whatever the heck else we're going to do to this car next. Peace out, guys. See you later.